Okay. Well, at one point, you get some lawyers and you start finding holes in the case.
Yeah.
And you realize that one man was denied being a juror, and the government was actually doing favors for certain snitches, but they didn't let the defense know, which was illegal.
Yeah. Misconduct.
So, did you file an appeal?
Yeah, of course. I filed my initial direct appeal. So the issue with the potential juror being denied and the prosecutorial misconduct are two separate issues. So the one with the juror, of course, it started at the beginning of the trial when we were trying to like select the jury pool. And he was denied based on the fact that he wore a bow tie every day, a black man. So the government automatically assumed he was a member of the Nation of Islam. In those days, the Nation of Islam was strong and they stood firm on not convicted young black men, try to help them. So they felt that this guy was going to bring like a mistrial to the table. So they denied him, they striked him as a potential juror. We wanted him. The judge functioned now to decide whether the strike is legal or not. He went with the prosecutor on record, based on his gut record, and his gut feeling, that this guy was a member of Islam. That within itself was a constitutional violation that has nothing to do with the innocence of guilt of the defendants. That was one issue. Then later on, we found out that he was using some of the funds that were allocated to him to try the case, and we found a trail of vouchers in the name of people that were related or girlfriends of some of the government witnesses. So he was appeasing the rats by doing favors for their family. Oh, you cut my light off. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. Just focus on testifying on these guys. We take care of that. So he signed them vouchers, but he left a paper trail. Now, he was allowed to do that, but he didn't disclose it. And that's where the misconduct came into the place.
So it goes to the Supreme Court, and then you get granted an appeal?
Yeah, so the way it worked is once we found out about the vouchers, and we filed a motion in front of the trial judge to dismiss the indictment based on prosecutorial misconduct. Some people called OPR came in, Office of Professional Responsibility for the Department of Justice, and they did an internal investigation. They found the vouchers, everything. So before it could get to the point where we will be in the law books for getting the case overturned, they said, man, we want to sit down. So my lawyer, he went to a meeting with some of my co-defendants' lawyers with the Department of Justice, some U.S. attorneys. He said when he walked into the conference room and he saw 5 U.S. attorneys sitting in there, he knew it was over. This was serious. So what happened is we made a deal under the table. And they asked us to withdraw the motion with the thing with the juror, because that, if we would have been granted that motion, we would have went into the law books as setting a precedent in Washington, D.C. And they, I guess out of pride, because they spent so many $millions trying us, they didn't want to set a precedent based on my case. So they had 2 poisons to pick from. So they chose to make the deal under the table.
Okay. And the deal was time served?
Well, yes, and to serve a little bit more. So what happened is that he did the same thing with another crew, another big conspiracy. And I watched the process, how it unfolded with them. And I felt like they took away the life without parole, but they had to serve 12 more years, like that. So I felt that they were serving too much time for a prosecutor that actually should be in a cell next to us. So when our turn came, they tried to come at me with those numbers. I said, I'm not doing those 7 more years. Absolutely not. So we kept negotiating back and forth. They didn't want to relink. So I said, you know what? I'll take 5 more years, do away with the life. You send me to New York, but release my co-defendants. Let them go. So they say, you don't run shit here. We decide that. So then they came back and they said, you know what? Give me another year, you get sent to New York. You give me another 18 months, you get released. You give me X amount, you get released. And we accepted that one.
Right. And part of your deal was to get deported back to Panama.
No, part of my deal, no, it was just simply do away with the life, do another year, and get sent to New York, because remember, I got New York. The deportation order was always on me, because as soon as you come into the system and they realize that you're undocumented, you have an automatic deportation order.
Okay, so you're already getting deported no matter what.
Yeah, regardless.
Right, if you got out.
Yeah.